Hi there. Let's talk about financial freedom. What is financial freedom? And most importantly, how can you go about becoming financially free? Is what I'm going to be talking about in this video. According to you, what is financial freedom? Comment down below in the comment section. Share with us your thoughts on what financial freedom is, and most importantly, how can you go about becoming financially free? You are all much welcomed to the Money Daily TV. My name is Afagza Sifuna. And with that, guys, out here, for example, a group of people out there who have insane amounts of money and they are struggling in life, okay? Maybe when someone earning a million shilling each and every month, they are struggling in life. We have other people out there who even are earning, for example, 100,000 Kenyan shillings each and every month. They are doing much better, or they seem to do much better. What is the difference? All these speaks to financial freedom. Basically, you being able to be free financially, to be able to do the most of things you want to do financially, to have the money, and most importantly, secure your future in a way that you won't feel too much financial strain. That's basically what financial freedom entails. And it has three things in it. The first area in financial freedom is your ability to make money. Then secondly is your ability to manage money. And then the third thing is your ability to multiply money. Because if you're talking about there being a day where you never have to work, it means that you need to be multiplying your money. That's why these three key ingredients of financial freedom are very important for you to even say you are financially free. That's what we're going to be talking about in this video in detail, these three things. You are all much welcomed. My name is Afagza Sifuna, and if you're new here, consider subscribing to this channel. Subscribe and also still at it, drop a like on this video. Thanks for that. Having said that, how can you go about making money? Of course, for most societies out there, people are told that they need to go to school for them to be able to make money. That is true because education is going to open doors for you out there, and then you're going to be able to get some opportunities which can assist you be able to make money. But you are not limited. And also, even if you didn't go through the formal education system out there, you can still make money because the world we live in is a world of exchange for value. Basically, you have a skill set or you are solving a problem, and then the market is going to reward you. That is the basis upon which people out here make money. You are solving a problem, thus you earn ability to make money. It's as simple as that. And that is why you out there, you need to do the math on how to increase your ability to make money by increasing your skill sets. Maybe you went to school, you studied, for example, medicine, law, you name it, whichever career out there, but also you could be having a talent. You could be having something you are interested in. Just because, for example, you studied accounting or whichever profession out there, you are not limited of options you can partake in. Go out there, harness additional skill sets because at the end of the day, it is skill sets which are going to bring money. So your ability to make money is harnessed in you having the right skill and also knowing the right people out there or getting yourself in those key spaces. I hear out here, for example, people saying they don't have connections. Yes, guys, you might not have connections, but then again, what are you doing to get yourself in those spaces where people who you think are connected or those people who you think can assist you are in? That's why, for example, you need to be on the lookout there, for example, for those summits, business conventions, you name it, in your city or near you, and purpose to go and attend. And interestingly, some of them are free. It is through these conventions that you can be able to build those professional networks, okay? Or even so, in case you are employed, also aim to partake in those annual convergences of maybe a professional body, you name it, so that you can be able to build more and more network. That is how networks are built out here. And then over time, these networks are going to be useful to you. Then, talking about the second thing, ability to manage money. Guys, this is where a good number of people mess. In the pursuit of financial freedom, the ability to manage money is where most people stumble. That's so because a good chunk of people out here earn whichever amounts of money, and then they don't invest in understanding how they're supposed to manage this money. And of course, managing money comes down to you understanding cash flow. Basically, understanding your incomes, understanding your expenses deeply, understanding your liabilities, and most importantly, thinking about what spare amount of money you can put aside for the bucket of multiplying money, which is the third thing I'm going to talk about. So, most people out here, for example, earn money. For this particular point in time, maybe you are able to manage your expenses without even hustling or whatever the case is. But then again, are you really spending money on what you need? Or you are spending money on what you desire to have? There is a difference. The basics of needs need to be catered for. Of course, also, the basic of luxuries in life need to be sorted. But then again, if you are going, for example, overboard, buying things which you don't need, just because you're walking down the street, you see maybe a designer shop there, which is even maybe selling a sweater at 500 US dollars, maybe it's selling maybe a given piece of cloth at 30,000 Kenya shillings. It doesn't mean by default you have to buy it because you have some money in the bank account. The big question is, how have you planned your money? Of course, the basic tools of planning money is the budget. And by the way, I've even made a video on how you can budget for your money. So watch my previous videos on finance for you to understand all these things I'm talking about. But the very basic thing is you budgeting your money. Because if you can't budget, it means basically you're gonna end up spending money on things you haven't planned for. And that is how you're gonna dig deep into monies which you'd rather use for investment or other things, and you're gonna end up spending this money, which is the biggest pitfall when it comes to managing money. And then secondly, when it comes to managing money, avoid impromptu purchases as I've spoken about, and also limit your appetites. Of course, all of us out here desire to live good, okay? We desire, for example, to have the most recent of sofa sets out there or couches, the most recent of cars out there, you name it. But also, it is important for us to know that human appetite is insatiable. You can't satisfy all your appetites. And that's why, for example, if, for example, you decide to bank all your money or push all your money to entertainment out there, maybe consuming alcohol, having a good time, still you're going to be able to utilize your money. But then again, this money won't be able to work for you because you're going to be consuming a huge chunk of this money. That's why it is important to think about, just beyond managing money, how do you multiply? And that gets me to the third point when it comes to financial freedom: multiplying money, which is the most powerful thing when it comes to financial freedom, the power of your money working for you. As you're out there utilizing your skill sets for you to be able to make money, which of course you're going to be managing on a day-to-day basis, think about investing. Investing is the biggest thing you can do with your money. And most people out there argue, for example, they don't have millions of money, whether it is shillings or dollars, for them to be able to invest. But unfortunately, that is a big fallacy. And I'm saying so because investing starts with whichever amount of money you have. And the best time for you to invest is now, given you might not have invested yesterday, but the best time for you to invest is now. Start today with as little as even $100, $1,000. Start today. Put your money in the stock markets. Put your money in other financial markets out there. Put your money in business. If you can, put your money in real estate. Of course, real estate requires a good chunk of upfront capital, but be sure with this, you're going to see your money work for you because you're going to be able to earn dividends. You're going to be able to earn interest on bonds. You're going to be able to get rental income in case you put your money in real estate. And also, you're going to be able to get profit in case you get into the business space. It's as simple as that. And that's the best way you can be able to have your money work for you, by investing. Most people spend their most productive years out there working, toiling, improving their skill sets. But unfortunately, they fail at the stage of managing money, whereby they eat a huge chunk of their money. And that is what sets them back when it comes to them working towards achieving financial freedom. Because if you consume all your money, you won't have spare amount of money to invest or even so to build emergency funds. That's why it's important to have a budget which allows for you to spend on necessities, and as much as you can, push a huge chunk of your money in investing. Because when you invest over time, your money is going to work for you. Guys, what do you think about these three things I've spoken about? Do you think These are key ingredients when it comes to you becoming financially free. Drop your thoughts down below in the comment section. Let's continue discussing. Cheers, guys, and you all stay safe.